Hi, you're watching Sealclops Book Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane after seeing it go absolutely crazy on social media sites. You enjoy! The Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane is the first in a new series called Pucking Wrong. Her second book, called The Pucking Wrong Man, I think it is, comes out later this year in September. Okay, so the genre for this book is a sports romance, primarily. The main sport that's focused on is hockey. It also has contemporary vibes, possessive vibes, and stalker vibes. So it's considered a dark romance, definitely this one. How does the book compare with other books in the genre? So, although labelled as a sports romance, I'm glad to report that the hockey does not play too key a role in the book. That's my preference there. As someone who doesn't really follow any sports, I'm always a bit hesitant to jump into anything too sports related. The possessive alpha vibes in this book, however, are very, very strong, and the stalker vibes are as well. So proceed with caution. And how does it match up with your expectations of that genre? So I wasn't too sure what to expect when beginning this book. After seeing multiple posts about how fantastic it was, though, I had to give it a go. And as soon as I finished the book, the very first thought I had was, wow. So it definitely deserves the stalker genre and the possessive one. The main male character is crazy. He is certifiably insane. So simple as that. It was still a good read if you're feeling into that sort of genre, but do not think that it is, this is how sane people should behave. The book gave a Den of Vipers vibe, which is also another guilty pleasure read of, I'm sure, many, many people. We go into it expecting the book to be pretty crazy and out there. But it's a good something different, I guess. So the summary. One text to the wrong number, mine, and everything changed. He won't tell me his last name, and maybe that should throw up 1,000 red flags. But when I'm all alone in a new city and struggling to make ends meet, his texts are the lifeline I've been desperate for. But I never would have answered that text if I'd known that Lincoln Daniels, superstar hockey player extraordinaire, was the one sending them. He's trying to sweep me off my feet now. He says he's obsessed. He wants me wearing his number permanently. The question is he still the wrong number, or can this hockey god prove he's Mr. Right? So the summary there doesn't give too much away, apart from the little asterisks there saying he is an anti-hero who is obsessed with his girl and would do anything to keep her. That is pretty much the whole plot of the book, really. So I wrote the analysis pretty much as soon as I finished the book, while it was all still fresh in my mind. So the plot and theme. Monroe has had a tough life. Witnessing her mother die when she was only 10, she was shuttled from foster home to foster home. Her very latest foster home is the worst of all. Treated like a live-in maid and sexually harassed by her foster father, Monroe must get away before he goes too far. Unfortunately, leaving before she's able to graduate from high school. It actually shows it's about a week or two before she's set to graduate and turn 18, and she just couldn't stay any longer. It was impossible. So jump forward 1 year and we see a 19-year-old Monroe working 2 jobs and attending night classes to make ends meet. She is burning herself out but is determined to push through. Then one night she receives a text message from an unknown number, which she finds herself unable and unwilling to ignore. Lincoln's life seems to finally begin when he mistakenly sends a message to Monroe while at hockey practice one day. His father is pushing him to sleep with his business partner's daughter in order to keep the business running smoothly. Only Link cannot stand the sight of this woman. Lucky for him, he stumbles across a woman who had become his everything. Now, quite often in the book, he refers to her as his everything in this sort of way. So that's why I italicized the word. It is quite important throughout the book. So while witnessing the manipulation, sexual harassment and cruelty of the people surrounding Monroe, he takes it upon himself to save her from their influence. In order to save her, he must first render her solely dependent on him, something he is sure she will fight every step of the way. Unfortunately, once Lincoln's actions were revealed to Monroe, she makes to leave. Lincoln will sooner die than lose his everything. So what does he do? He cuffs her to his bed. This is when he really shows his insanity and his obsession with her. And yeah, keep in mind this is not a healthy relationship, but it is a book, so it's all make-believe. So pacing, emotion, ending, and plot holes. So the pacing for this story felt right. You could see the insanity emerging slowly as the book progressed, however it was justified by the characters' beliefs. It wasn't until the third act when the extent of Lincoln's mental instability really became apparent. What really added to the shock factor in this last part of the book was the fact that Monroe only seemed to fight her imprisonment for a week before proclaiming herself to be crazy too, even admitting to having Stockholm Syndrome. They both go on to live together happily, if not insanely, ever after. So the plot holes were many. The issue that arose was swept under the rug with the use of money or sex. The ending wrapped up in Lincoln and Monroe's story nicely. There was an epilogue too that gave some insight into a future book featuring Ari as the main character, who is one of Lincoln's closest friends on the hockey team. It had an open ending, causing some impatience before the next book is released in September. So I would be very interested in reading the next book as well to see how it goes. A little bit about the main characters. So Monroe, her full name is Monroe Destiny Bardot. She is petite with black hair, large green eyes and pale skin. Makes me sort of think of Snow White, to be honest. She's strikingly gorgeous but unaware of the fact. She grew up with an absent father and a drug-addicted mother. Her mother passed when she was 10, she was moved between foster homes afterwards. She ran away shortly before graduation due to inappropriate advances from her foster father, and she works 2 jobs and attends night classes. Lincoln Daniels, he is the golden boy, star hockey athlete, tall, muscular with golden curls and muscles, has cruel, manipulative parents who do not care for him, an older brother who passed when he was in, it says roughly 9th grade. He feels responsible for his brother's death and goes to extreme measures to do what he thinks is best for Monroe. So quite often in the book it refers to the past trauma for both the characters, and that sort of gives them the underlying instability and how they work so well together. So the recommendation, I put, wow, this book is insane. Going into the book expecting to experience some craziness, I was able to overlook the absurd and focus on the romance between Lincoln and Monroe. Often referred to as a book like Den of Vipers, this book did not disappoint. If you are into certifiably insane anti-heroes who would do anything for their women, this is the book for you. I usually not begin a series that is not completed, however my curiosity got the best of me in this circumstance. So, as someone who loves to find books to read and potential books to dive into, my Facebook feed is just many different book groups, and all of them were recommending this book, saying you have to read it. So I finally gave in and did. So I gave the book 3.5 stars out of 5, mainly because of the craziness and over-the-top deranged anti-hero stars. Proceed with caution. It was a good book, but also completely over the top, leaving me not sure what to feel exactly. Quite often throughout the book, I was in shock. But it wasn't bad. It was just different. Definitely worth giving it a go though, just keep an open mind. Okay, thank you for watching my review. Bye.